Before the great flood, when the veil between the heavens and the earth was as thin as a mountain mist, there stood Sithwa'el. In the high courts, he was a pillar of blinding light and celestial substance that towered over the cedar trees of Mount Hermon. His skin was the color of a frozen star, and his eyes held the deep crystalline blue of a winter midnight. When he moved, the air around him hummed with the sound of grinding ice and rushing wind. For he was the winter of God, the keeper of the storehouses where the seasons were locked away. For eons, Sithwa'el stood at the gates of the firmament, watching the tiny lives of mortals. He held the keys to the meteorological secrets, knowing exactly when the frost should bite the soil and when the sun should retreat to allow the earth its necessary sleep. But as he looked down, the cold detachment of a watcher began to melt into a dangerous curiosity. He descended to the peaks of Mount Hermon with 200 of his kin, their radiant forms casting long, terrifying shadows over the world of men. Sithwa'el brought with him a gift that was never meant for mortal hands, the secret of the seasons. He gathered the tribal leaders in the freezing dark and spoke in a voice like cracking glaciers. He taught them how to read the stars, to predict the coming of the ice, how to store grain against the famine he controlled, and how to understand the cycles of the moon that governed the tides. It was a worthless secret in the eyes of the Creator, not because it was useless, but because humanity was not yet ready to hold the power of the heavens. As the knowledge spread, the world fell into imbalance. The giants, the Nephilim, rose from the unions of the Watchers and mortals, and the divine order fractured. For his rebellion, Sithwa'el was judged. The very winter he once guarded became his prison. He was cast into the dark valleys of the earth, bound in chains of iron and ice to wait for the end of days.